Yeah. Yeah, suffering is it's not just part of life. That was a big lie that I feel like got pushed onto me by my parents and religion, but it's just not true. Like suffering is not just part of life. Like really, to be more specific, suffering is a part of a shitty life because not everybody suffers. Like that's just not true. Some people have it really good. And by telling yourself that suffering is just a part of life, that's just you trying to cope with the fact that you have a really shitty life and you don't really know why and you don't really know how to get out of it. But it's like something that, for me in my life, it got perpetuated through religion. This idea that, oh, suffering is just part of life, People are just destined to sin and mess up. Like, I don't know about that. Like, because you're acting like people can't just control their actions. You're acting like people aren't responsible for their actions. Like, no, the reason suffering exists is because of stupid people. People making stupid decisions. That's why. Like, they are choosing to make these decisions. It's not like they're being forced to. Like, somewhere up the chain, in a shitty life, there is someone making stupid decisions. Or maybe you're the one making the stupid decisions because you're choosing suffering over not suffering. Like, you don't actually have to suffer. Like, it's not normal. Like, yeah, there's going to be things in life that are somewhat tricky. But life is not supposed to be hard. It's not. Life is not supposed to be hard. If your life is hard, something is wrong. Because, like, I mean, my life is, like, pretty easy, honestly. Like, I know I've got a video where I said I'm not doing good. But even then, I was doing a lot better than I was doing before. And now I'm doing a lot better than I was doing in that previous video. Because I've stopped being around people that make stupid decisions. I've stopped being around unhealthy people and people that made stupid decisions that involved me, aka my parents and my family, and religious people. Like, once you get away from shitty people, oh my god, life is so fucking easy. It's just not hard. Because, like, nowadays, like, in the modern first world, most suffering is just psychological. It's emotional. And the only way you can really get stuck in emotional suffering like that is if you just continue to put yourself in an environment or around people that don't respect you or take care of you. That is really the only way that continues to happen. Or if you just are lying to yourself and you don't let yourself ever heal, like you don't let yourself cry and shit. But, like, life generally is just not that bad. Like, life itself is not bad. Like, maybe you just have a shitty life. But, like, I'm also reminded of, like, all the motivation shit. Like, you gotta get up at 5 a.m. in the fucking morning. You gotta grind, you gotta grind, you gotta grind. You gotta do shit you don't wanna do. No, you actually don't have to do shit you don't wanna do ever. You don't have to do anything you don't wanna do. Yeah. If you don't want to get up at 5 in the morning, you can just not. If you don't want to go to the gym, you can just not go to the gym. Like, working out and being healthy should not feel like suffering. Like, it might feel like slightly uncomfortable, but it shouldn't feel like you're fucking like dying. Like if you just feel like you're dying all the time, that's not normal. Like you don't actually need to be hard on your kids at all, ever. You don't need to be hard on your kids. What is the point of that? Oh, to make them disciplined. Why do they need to be disciplined? Like, all that they need to do is figure out how to make enough money to be alive. That is literally it. Like, you don't actually need to be that disciplined to stay alive and make money. You don't even need to be that disciplined to be successful. I mean, if you just stay at the same job for long enough, somehow people just seem to promote and promote and promote, and then they become they're my boss. And they don't even try that hard at all. Like, you do not have to try that hard just to have a good life, generally. And I know, like, some people live in, like, extremely tough situations, so I'm more so just talking about, like, first world America, because that's the only place that I'm really familiar with. But if you're, like, in the United States of America and your life is absolute shit, I mean, honestly, you might be doing something wrong. Because life in America is really not that hard. It's just generally not that hard. Like, you just get a job, maybe do Uber on the side, and that's kind of it, honestly. Like, you don't have to go to a war. Like, you don't have to talk to people you don't really want to talk to, for the most part. And I know there's people with hard lives, but what I'm saying is, that's not normal. Like, the fact that you have a hard life is not, like, normal. And you shouldn't be, like, validating yourself for having a bad life. Because you having a bad life is not the norm. Like, if you have a bad life, that should not be the case. You should be upset about that. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't just be like, oh, I accept that I have a shitty life, and this is how it is. No. No. If you have a shitty life, that is not normal. If your relationship sucks and it's not fun, that's not normal. Like, even if you're around other people that are in relationships where they're not enjoying themselves, like, that's not normal. Like, just because some schizophrenic people might be friends with other schizophrenic people doesn't mean that being schizophrenic is normal. And even if everybody was schizophrenic, that doesn't mean being schizophrenic would be a good thing. But there's no glory in suffering. There's not. There's just not. Like, there's no glory in just being hard on yourself just for the sake of being hard on yourself. Forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do. There's no glory in that. Like, there's really no meaningful applause to doing that, because even if you did get applause, like if you become a doctor, even if you didn't want to become a doctor, the applause is going to be meaningless. And, you know, even if you, like, sometimes if you wanted to work hard for something, you would just work hard for it. Like, you don't have to force yourself to do something you don't want to do just because you're supposed to work hard. Like, you can just work hard for something that you enjoy doing. Like, I enjoy making videos like this. Like, I spend hours and hours doing this. And for some people, it would be like, oh man, that would be so much work. Ugh. And it's like, yeah, but I'm not, like, you don't have to do it. I'm just doing it because I like doing it. And this is, like, such a cliche, but it really is true. Like, you literally can just follow your heart your whole life. And I think you should. Because what else are you going to do with your life? You're not going to follow your heart? You're not going to do what you want to do with your life? Like, if you want to do something in life, you can just kind of do it. If you don't want to do something in life, you can just kind of not do it. It's really not that complicated. I had to make sure I was videoing. The other day I recorded a video, or I thought I did, and I was sitting here talking for like an hour and a half, and I never hit record. That was like a few months ago, actually, not the other day. Like, if you don't want to clean your house, you can just not clean your house, you know? Like, you can actually go a really long time without cleaning your house. Ask me how I know. And it won't actually be that bad. Like, I haven't hung up clothes in a while. I haven't really cleaned up. But a little trick I figured out is if you just own less dishes, you won't have that many dishes to clean. Know what I mean? Like, and you can actually kind of just wait until you feel like doing something to do it. Like, generally, that's actually fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But yeah, if you're getting up every day and you're like, oh my god, my life is such torture. This is so hard. I can't believe everybody is living like this. I can't believe this is just how life is. No, 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 no. This is not how life is. This is how your life is. There's billions of people out there that are actually kind of enjoying themselves. Like, yeah, you're the one that's miserable, and you're trying to validate your misery by just like looking at the news and like finding other people that are also miserable. You know, because misery loves company, just like they say. And you know, you're just trying to validate your misery because misery is really all you've ever known, and that's what is most familiar to you and what you're the most comfortable with. And you know, humans are creatures of habit and creatures of comfort, and you know, humans will prefer comfort sometimes over what's actually good for them. Because yeah, if you've never actually known what it's like to have a good life, you might not actually believe that life is good. But if you just like start doing shit that you actually want to do and stop doing shit you don't actually enjoy, then you'll actually be fine. Honestly, like, you'll be fine. Like, if you genuinely just don't enjoy your relationship or your marriage, I mean, you can pretty much just leave. If you don't enjoy going to the gym, you can just like not do that. You can just do like a squat in the shower every now and then. Like, as long as you just like stand up a few times a day, you're probably not going to get morbidly obese where you have to be wheeled around everywhere. Like, life is actually not torture. I feel like I've made a video talking about this before, but I don't know, man. Like, I used to think life was so bad, and it's really not, honestly. like like people who are like, "Oh my god, nobody wants to have sex with me." Really? Nobody? Have you asked everybody? Have you asked the homeless person underneath the bridge? They probably would have sex with you. Uh, like, you've talked to everybody? Like, yeah, maybe no one in your class wants to have sex with you. Maybe not anyone at your small little school wants to have sex with you. But that's not everybody. Like, just wait till you turn 21, go to a bar. Eventually you're going to find someone that wants to have sex with you, okay? I'm just saying. Yeah, maybe the one person that you want to have sex with doesn't want to have sex with you. But they don't have to want to have sex with you either. Like, they're not required to do anything, you know. So it's like, oh well, they don't want to have sex with me. Okay, that sucks, but you know, they're ultimately allowed to do what they want. So, and that's kind of the end of it, really. But it can be hard to think of things in that simplistic manner if you've had a shitty life. So I understand if it doesn't feel like it's that simple, because sometimes it really doesn't feel like it is that simple when you've been around shitty people your whole life, people who are bullying you at your home. Like, you can't just get over things. Sometimes you are going to be extremely fucking angry, and that's okay, that's normal. Like, you're supposed to get angry when you've been wronged. That's how you keep yourself from getting wronged again, you know? But you shouldn't just accept that, like, oh, life sucks. Oh, you just gotta do what you don't want to do. No, 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 you're wrong. You don't. And by believing that, you're probably making someone else's life super easy. Because imagine if slaves just thought like that. Imagine if all the black slaves in America just thought like, oh yeah, this is just how life is. Life is just miserable. But then imagine how they felt when they saw their masters in their mansions with their families, living it up, You're like, no, actually, life is not miserable. My life is miserable. There's plenty of these masters out there that are having the time of their lives. Why do they get to have fun and I don't? Yeah, that should be the thought process, and you should probably get pissed. Because really, sometimes the only thing stopping you from having a good life is you and your beliefs and your unprocessed emotional trauma. Because, like, yeah, maybe you have a shitty life, but have you ever actually tried to not have a shitty life? Have you ever actually tried to do what you actually want to do? And of course, it's hard to do that if you've been around people that, like, if your family has never supported your interests ever, if your parents have only wanted you to fit this specific mold, and it's like, well, you don't even know what you want to do because no one has ever asked you, and that's okay. Like, take some time for yourself. What it might look like is you might have to start with just not doing things that you don't want to do, because you probably have a pretty good idea of what you don't want to do because you've been doing what you don't want to do so long. So just start there. That's what I did. And then eventually you kind of figure out, my life is slightly less miserable, and that's something. That is something. That is progress. And you really do feel that progress. Like, you get up and life feels a little. You're like, oh wow, I actually kind of do want to go to work today. Wow, I'm kind of enjoying myself, and it's like, whoa, I just catch myself like smiling, like, whoa, life can actually be really good when you're not surrounded by sick people. Because that's, as a human, that is really the only thing that can make your life complete shit, besides like congenital diseases and stuff. Besides like diseases and immune system shit, the only thing that can really make your life complete shit is just being surrounded by shitty people. That is really what it is, yeah. And not only being surrounded by shitty people, but being surrounded by shitty people for a long time. Decades, years and years and years. Like, days just where you wake up, times a fucking 10,000, and there's shitty people in your house. Like, why wouldn't your life suck? So that might be you. You might be surrounded by shitty people, and you probably feel like your life is shit. Or maybe you feel like your life is shit and you don't know why. Well, I'm telling you, it's because you're surrounded by shitty people, probably. Like, your depression didn't just come from nowhere. Your depression didn't come from, like there's not depression in the water, okay? I'm gonna shatter your delusions. There's not depression in the water. It is, in fact, just your situation, okay? Like, if you feel like shit and you don't have like a knife that is going through your heart right now, like, it's because of the people that you're around. It's because of your family, okay? Because life is not just shitty. This is not just how life is. But there's a lot of people that live like that and think like that because it's all they've ever known, because they've been stuck in survival mode their entire life. They've never even had a chance to think about what they actually want to do. There's probably like thousands of construction workers out there who actually wanted to be dancers or musicians or actors. But their parents never allowed them to explore that, or it was never economically feasible for them, so they just shut that part of themselves down forever. And so eventually, even when those opportunities did prop up and they were feasible, they didn't even remember that was something that they wanted to do. So, eventually those people have kids, and those kids could actually grow up to be actors or to be dancers, because it actually is economically feasible for people now. But, that never actually, that option never maybe gets presented to them because their parents are too shut down, basically. They've shut themselves down. They're sick. But you shouldn't look at, like, if your life is complete shit, you shouldn't look at it and shrug your shoulders. You should look at it and genuinely be disgusted and enraged. Because that's how you actually change your life to make it enjoyable. You got to actually fight for yourself. Because there's no guarantee that anyone else is going to do it for you, unfortunately. But I do admit, like, when you're in a really shitty situation, when your life is really shitty, hearing someone tell you, oh, life is worth living, hearing someone tell you that sucks. Because really, to be more realistic, a good life is worth living. That's the truth. A bad life is not worth living. You know, I had a shitty life for 20 years. I was depressed my whole life. My life was not worth living. I'm not going to lie and say that it was. My life was not worth living. A shitty life is a shitty life, and a shitty life is not worth living. People who have good lives, those lives are worth living. And if they don't know enough about someone else's situation, if they've never had a really shitty life, they're not going to really conceive or understand the idea that life might not be worth living. But there are situations where it's just not worth living. But I'm here to tell you that that is not how life is on the whole. That is how your life is. And there are millions and millions of people out there who have great lives. I'm just telling you. And that should piss you off. Because why don't you have a good life? Like, why are these people more deserving of a good life than you are? And the answer is that they're not. They're not more deserving. You just got fucked. You got fucked. Your life is just fucked. That's the truth. And that should piss you off. And I think anger is really the first step to actually feeling better, because that's essentially saying that you have your own back. It's you looking at your heart and your emotions. You're saying, we don't deserve this. I got you. We're gonna do what we can to fix this shit, to get out of here, to make it slightly less worse. If you can just do that, I think that's a great start. Because life is genuinely actually pretty good. And it's getting better. Life is getting better on the whole. Less people are dying in wars. There's less diseases. Life expectancy is longer. Infant mortality is lower. There's more awareness for mental health. There's more awareness for the bad things that are happening in the world. So things are generally getting better. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that everything is good. I don't even necessarily know. I don't know if the majority of lives on life are good or enjoyable, or even, I don't even know if the majority of lives feel like they're worth living. But I do know that there are a lot of millions of people out there that have lives worth living, that have good lives. Otherwise, everyone in a first world country would just be killing themselves. Because, they have the means. But they're not. There are lots of people out there with good lives. Like I said, I don't know if life is good for the majority of people on Earth right now, but I do think life is getting better for people on Earth now. I think it is generally getting better. And I think the percentage of people that have lives that they feel like are worth living, I think that is increasing too. I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. I would say it's maybe 70% of people. Maybe 60. Because there are a lot of people out there that are depressed, but there's also a lot of people out there who are not depressed. And another thing to remember is that no two people's For You pages are the same. So whenever you load your For You page, you might see everything that's happening in the Middle East. You might see all these crimes happening, bad news. Well, the reason you're seeing that is because that's what you're conditioned to looking for, and that's what you're conditioned to seeing. Your life has just been shit your whole life, so you just kind of expect things to be that way. So whenever you see those videos pop up, you just watch it and you're like, yeah, that's how life is. Find another one, it's like, yep, that's life. Whereas, a happy, healthy person with a good life, if they saw something like that, they'd be like, oh my God. And they would block the video. And they would go search for, a reel or something that they actually did want to watch. And then their whole For You page is surfing videos, or videos of flowers, videos of different outfits, videos of sports, things like that. It's like, whenever you actually have a good life, you're not even going to want to be around that at all, ever. So, like, people who actually have good lives that are worth living and enjoyable, I honestly don't think that they're seeing the news that much on their feed, because their algorithm knows that they're not going to even engage with that video, so it's not going to send it to them. Whereas people who are miserable and just hate their life, they're the ones that are going to engage with it, you know? So don't think that just because you're seeing this shit on your For You page that this is how everyone is viewing the world, you know? Because it's not. It's not.